Charley was. Bing doesn't like Hurricane Charley. Let's see if Google lets us search and learn about hurricanes. Hurricane Charley. It was the third named storm, the second hurricane, and the second major hurricane of the 2004 Atlantic hurricane season. Charley lasted from August 9th to 15th. I remember Hurricane Charley. Um, for some reason, my father, uh, we left our own property, our home in Cape Coral, and we went to my father's boss, whose name was Rick of Cape Coral Plumbing. We went over to his home and we hid in this closet or whatever. Everyone was, all the girls were peeing a lot. They were, they had to go to the restroom a lot because they were so nervous. I remember when the storm hit, it was fairly bad. We noticed even in Rick's, he had a very, like a newer home, which we would consider a newer home. Um, and the water was just leaking right through his roof inside the home. And, and, they say that saying, they don't build them as good as they used to. Well, no, they just need to build them better. I mean, we got a lot of time on our hands to build structures a lot better, architecture to put up with them storms. It's worth that extra little ounce of effort, especially when you're dealing with that leak or whatever. But what I was going to say is yeah, I remember Hurricane Charley. And after the whole event, we stayed at Rick's. He let us, because we assumed Rick's house was a much nicer home. It was to withstand Charley a little bit better. My dad was really confused as a human male. He let other males manipulate his duty. We should have been staying at our own home, but it was a good time. But by the time we had reached back to our own home, uh, uh, we noticed that the complete lanai, it's like a pool cage, uh, was completely taken down by the hurricane. Some think that there was a small tornado in Cape Coral or something like that went through during the hurricane. But I've also experienced a tornado on Skyline, which is a different subject. But then we explored. It wasn't too bad really, but there was a lot of flooding. Like it was fairly bad, fairly really destructive. But my dad took me down to Punta Gorda or uh, Port Charlotte or something like that, and we seen how bad the destruction was for that one. They said it was comparable, not as bad as Andrew, but it was one of the bad ones next to how bad Andrew was. Uh, what is it called? Hurricane Charley destruction. Man, the United States goes through a lot of destruction. I'm not gonna lie. Hurricanes, wildfires, earthquakes, all types of flooding, a lot of crime. Man, I feel bad for them sometimes. Canada's just a little bit. It's been just a little, but who knows? We've had that Mississauga train derailment. We had a train derailment, and but go back to Florida. Yeah, Hurricane Charley was something. I remember there was this restaurant. I can't remember the exact name of the restaurant that we would go to, but they would sell a shirt. Sorry, it said like I survived Hurricane Charley or whatever. They have these shirts in Florida. It's not all bad in Florida, but Hurricane Charley. Yeah, it was something that I went through when I was down in the United States. It's not something that a lot of people go through. You would have to actually live down in Florida to experience it at the time, to experience it. But I remember taking the cold showers because our power was off for a significant amount of time. Uh, but it was so hot in Florida, so hot that that the cold showers would feel good. You know, I really do miss Florida. I want to go back eventually. Maybe in 10 or 15 years, I'll be able to experience, the the relaxing amenities that Florida can provide. I love Florida oranges. I buy those all the time, and California oranges. Mostly Florida, though. It's been for my life. We have them imported up. It's a big industry, and I actually got to go down to Florida with my own eyes and stuff, and human body or whatever. Fortunately, and for a long enough, some people just go to Disneyland, but I also got to experience full fledged the Florida Orange Market. I seen it first handed. We drove all the way down each state on the East Coast. It starts with like when you start to hit down south, you start to hit boiled peanuts, the pecan pie, and then it starts to get into those oranges. And I remember just uh, truckfuls of Florida oranges. I don't remember exactly which um, city it was in Florida, but there's like a town in Florida that we went to, me and my father and mother, and they were big on oranges. They had all types of orange groves and trucks full of oranges coming in and out, and yeah.